We've been here before, fighting against the things that make us unhealthy, fearful, and lonely. While fitness centers closed their doors, we opened ours wider. We ran towards the front lines, providing childcare, food, support, and hope. We charged forward. As you begin to reset your life, consider joining more than a fitness center. We are a movement that says yes. Yes to the vulnerable. Yes to the isolated. And yes to swimming, fitness, and Zumba. The YMCA is so much more than a gym. We are a cause. A cause for a better us. Join a cause.
Hi, friends from the YMCA. I'm Lauren. I'm happy to be with you today. We're going to honor our bodies in a gentle yoga practice. If you have a mat and want to spread it out on the floor, feel free, but you don't need it. You could just clear a spot to sit down comfortably. If you have with you a yoga block, I would grab it for today's practice. But if you don't have one, don't worry about it. We can move through our triangle pose and modify without it. Also, if you are in a place where you can lean against the wall, you might want to set yourself up there when we do a little goddess pose and triangle in our practice. But you'll make it your own, and I'll guide you through it, whether you have the wall for support, whether you have a block, whether you have a mat or not. We'll find that comfortable seated position, whatever it is for us today. We'll notice how our bodies feel, and we'll begin to circle our torso around. There's no right or wrong size or speed here. We'll let this gentle movement help us notice how we're feeling. We'll take another circle or two like this, and then we'll go the other way. Knowing that it's okay if we feel aches or pains. Knowing that it's okay if we find tight spots. And it's okay if we feel loose and open here. We'll take another circle or two around. And the next time we find ourselves forward, we'll hang down. We'll let our back round and our head be heavy. We're not worried about how far we fold. We'll notice how it feels to breathe here, and we'll stay folded over as we walk our hands out, letting our arms reach long in front of us. And then we'll carefully walk our hands back in so that we're sitting up tall in that comfortable seated position. And we'll take a gentle twist. It doesn't matter which way you go first. Bring the opposite hand to the knee or the hip and turn as though you were looking behind you. Come back to center. Send your twist the other way. Come back to center, and we'll take a few big breaths together. Inhale, lift the hands and arms up, reach tall. Exhale, let them float down. 2 more. One more here. Let the arms rest at your side. Let yourself just breathe. As you sit up tall, drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Bring the head to center. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Bring the head to center. And in our seated position, we'll open our legs into a V. So we're setting our feet wider than hip distance apart. It might be a big V today. We might put our hands down behind us and press forward a little. Our hips might feel tight today, our knees sensitive, and we might make a smaller V, just a little wider than hip distance. Feel what's right for you. Once you've found it, point and flex the feet a little. As our feet point and flex, with our back up tall, let's drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Then bring the head through center and drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Are you still pointing and flexing your feet? Bring your head to center and let your feet be still. We'll return to that comfortable seated position for a moment. Maybe we're adjusting a little or wiggling. Maybe those legs in the V feel great and that's where we'll stay. Once we're comfy, we'll start to roll our shoulders up, back and down. Now, as we've taken a little time to move together, if you've noticed any aches or pains, feel free to type them in the comments. We can address them in our practice together. If you've noticed those aches and pains and you want to adjust your practice on your own so that it works for you, go for it. We're going to give ourselves what we need today. Take another shoulder roll or two here, and then we'll leave them down. We'll place our left hand down and let our right arm reach up and over, welcoming in length to the right side. We'll come back up. Our right hand down, we'll take our left arm up and over. We'll come back up. We're going to send our legs out long in front of us. We'll flex our feet here. We'll have our back up tall, and we'll move with our breath into a forward fold. Inhale, lift the hands and arms up. Exhale and fold forward. Feel the back round. Maybe let the head hang heavy. Just welcome in this stretch. Now let the feet relax, tuck the chin towards the chest, pull the belly in, and carefully roll yourself up. When you're up tall, just gently roll those shoulders up, back and down. It's nice to see friends checking in online. It's great to share a practice with you. And even when we have some low back pain, we'll honor our bodies. We'll make it right for us. One more shoulder roll here. Leave them down. We're up nice and tall. Our feet are relaxed. And one more time, we're going to drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Bring the head through center, left ear, left shoulder. We're going to bring the head back to center, and we're going to move into a very gentle seated twist. Let's bend our knees and put the soles of the feet down. We want this to be something that's relaxing for our low back. So let's sweep our hands behind us and let them support us. So we're going to lean back a little here. Now, if our wrists are sensitive, we might make a fist with our hand instead, or just touch our fingertips down. We'll press our heart space forward a little. We'll draw our knees close, and we're going to let our knees fall to the right side and look to the left. Come back to center. Let's let our legs fall to the left and look to the right. Let's come back to center, and we're going to move to tabletop here. So we'll sweep those legs around behind us, our hands coming forward. I'm going to turn to the side here. Our back is nice and flat. Our belly pulls in. If our wrists are sensitive, maybe we find those fists again or move on to our forearms. If your knees are sensitive, don't hesitate to fold up your mat. Put your knee on top, get the support you need. Let's round our back in cat. Drop the head and the tailbone down, pull the belly in, and press the back upward. Let yourself breathe here. And now let's go the other way. Coming into cow, let the belly drop down. Lift the head and tailbone up. Maybe try lifting the chin a little. Now find a nice flat back. And we're going to move to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes under. We're going to press our hips back and then up, trying to keep our back as flat as we can. We might keep a little bend in our knees as we let our head hang down. If we're finding that this is too much for us, we might return to that tabletop position. And we'll walk the dog a little if we like, bending one knee, pressing the opposite heel down, and then switching. We're setting our own rhythm here. Take another movement or two, and then come to stillness. We're going to carefully take our gaze forward and bring our feet to our hands, walking them up or jumping them forward. We're hanging down in a forward fold. Our back relaxes. We might have that little bend or softness in our knees, and we'll sway side to side. Then we'll come to stillness. We'll tuck the chin towards the chest, pull the belly in, and we'll slowly roll ourselves up. When we come up tall, we'll roll our shoulders up, back, and down. One more time here. Then we'll leave them down. We'll be moving into goddess pose and then triangle. If you have a yoga block, let's grab it here and we'll put it near our left foot. If we have a wall that's easy to lean against, let's move over towards it. We want that wall right behind us. We're going to step our feet wider than hip distance apart. The block is down by our left foot. We're going to turn our toes out here. We're going to pull our belly in tight and bend our knees, letting ourselves sink down. How low we go here is up to us. We're not going to push to the point of pain, and we're not going to lean towards one side or the other. We're going to think about coming straight down. If that wall is behind you, try pressing the upper back against it. Now we'll open our arms into a T, and we'll bend our elbows, our fingers wide. Let's press our shoulders back just a little. If we like, we'll take some small pulses here, building a little strength and a little energy. Let's do 2 more. And then let's press up so that we stand tall. Reach the arms up high. Take a big breath in. With your breath out, let the arms float down. We're going to leave our left toes facing left, and we're going to turn our right toes in. We have our knees fairly straight here. We'll move towards our triangle pose. We're going to open our arms into a T. Let's look over those left fingertips, and we're going to press our hips back like we're reaching forward. When we can't reach out anymore, we're going to start to tilt over. Our left hand coming down, our right fingers up. Here's where we might want to use that block. It's making our left hand longer. If we don't have a block, our hand rests by our leg. If we want, we can reach towards the floor, but we're still going to press back. And if we have that wall behind us, we might try to lean into it, feeling a nice big stretch along our left hip and inner thigh. We're going to carefully come back up. Let the left toes face forward. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. If you liked working with that block, let's take it here and move it over to the right side. One more shoulder roll. Leave them down. Let's turn our toes out and sink into our goddess pose again. So our knees are bending, our hips sinking down. Our back pressing back, our knees pressing back a little, opening that hip space. Maybe our left leg is feeling different after triangle pose. Let's open our arms into the T. Bending at the elbows, fingers spreading out wide. If we like, let's pulse a little here. Listening to our bodies, doing what feels good. Welcoming in a little strength. 2 more pulses. And now let's press up, reaching up high. Take a big breath in. With your breath out, the arms float down. We're going to let our left toes face forward. We're going to move towards our triangle pose. So our arms open into a T. Our legs are fairly straight. We're going to look over those right fingers. And we're going to reach right, letting our hips press back. When we can't reach out anymore, we're going to start to tilt over, maybe using our block if we like, as we reach those left fingers up. And it's okay if this side is different than the other. Feel what's right for you. Don't be afraid to play with the pose a little. If you try something out that doesn't work, you can change it up. We'll take another breath in our triangle pose, and then we'll carefully press back up. Our toes face forward, our shoulders roll up, back, and down. One more shoulder roll. We're going to leave them down. We have a little bend in our knees. I like to think as though they were soft here. We're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. Tuck the chin towards your chest. We'll begin right here, the back of the neck long. And we can stay like this, or we can start to roll down. Our arms dangling in front of us, our back rounding, our head heavy. Let yourself breathe as you hang down here. If you like, gently sway side to side. Letting any tension or tightness along the back release. Make your way to stillness. Tuck the chin to the chest. Pull the belly in. Slowly roll yourself back up. When we make our way up tall, we'll bring our feet together and we'll begin to move through our sun salutation. So you'll want to honor your body here and do what's right for you. I'll call out some options, but don't be afraid to make it your own. I'm going to turn to the side, and what you'll want to do is step forward, maybe towards the top of the mat, or just forward so that you have room to take a step back. We're standing tall, our shoulders down from our ears. We're bringing our hands to prayer at heart center and taking a moment to breathe. Celebrating our bodies here. Welcoming in length and strength. Not afraid to give ourselves what we need. We'll begin to move with our breath. With an inhale, soften the knees, sweep the arms up. If you like, as you breathe, lean back. With an exhale, fold forward. Bend or soften the knees, allowing the palms to find the mat or floor. And we'll step our right foot back, letting our front knee be bent. We'll press the heel down and we'll raise our chest and arms, coming into a warrior one. Welcoming in that bend in the front knee, reaching our fingers up. Then we'll carefully lower the hands down. We're going to turn our back heel up and take a little twist here. So our right hand is down by the big toe side of the left foot, and we're going to reach our left arm up, turning our chest and belly towards our inner thigh on that left side. Maybe giving our left fingers a wiggle. Then we're going to carefully lower the hand down, and we're going to step our left foot back, coming into plank. We're squeezing our belly and bottom tight. If our back is sensitive, let's put the knees down. If our wrists are sensitive, let's find the forearms. If we like, we can take side plank. Our right palm or forearm comes to the center as our left arm lifts up. Our bottom knee can be down to support us. We'll take another breath, and then we'll return to our plank, and we'll carefully lower down to our belly. We'll press into our palms or our forearms, arching our back. We're finding what's right for our wrist and low back here. And we'll tuck our toes under and send our hips and tailbone back and up, finding our downward facing dog, remembering that we can have a bend in our knees. We'll take a big breath in, and with our breath out, bring our feet to our hands in our forward fold. With an inhale, we'll soften our knees and sweep our arms up. We'll breathe here if we like, maybe leaning back a little. With an exhale, we'll stand tall and let our hands float down. We'll inhale, prayer at heart center, and we'll exhale. We'll drop the hands to our sides a moment. Maybe we'll roll our shoulders up, back, and down here. One more time. Then we'll bring our hands to prayer at heart center. We'll let ourselves breathe. We're going to move through our sun salutation again on the other side, listening to our bodies, doing what's right for us, knowing that it's okay if this side is different than the other. Inhale, soften the knees, sweep the arms up. If you like, as you breathe here, lean back. With with an exhale, fold forward. And we'll let ourselves breathe in this forward fold as we deepen our stretch by giving ourselves a little hug. We're going to bring our hands behind us. Maybe they find the lower legs or near our ankles. Maybe we grab opposite wrist or elbows. And then we'll carefully release that hug, letting our palms find the mat or the floor and stepping our left foot back. Feeling that bend in the front knee, we'll carefully raise our chest and arms, finding our warrior one. Remembering to breathe as we reach upward. Then we'll lower the hands down. We're going to turn our back heel up. And we're finding that twist here for our back. So our left hand is down by the big toe side of the right foot. Our right arm is reaching up. And we're welcoming in that length. And then we're carefully bringing the hand down, sending our right foot back and finding our plank. And we know that it's okay to modify. Let's make it right for us. If we like, we'll take side plank. Our left palm or forearm comes to center. Our right arm is going up. That bottom knee might find the mat for support. Then we're coming back to center, and we're going to lower down to our belly. We'll press into the palms or forearms, arching our back in our upward facing dog. Then we'll tuck our toes under and send the hips and tailbone high in our downward facing dog. We'll take a big breath in, and with our breath out, we'll find our forward fold and we'll hang down as we breathe here. We'll let ourselves wrap in that hug again if we like. Then we'll release that hug, and with an inhale, we'll soften the knees and sweep the arms up. Maybe we'll lean back as we breathe. With an exhale, we'll let our hands float down. We'll inhale prayer at heart center, and we'll exhale. Let the arms drop down. Begin to roll the shoulders up, back, and down. One more shoulder roll, then we'll leave them down. We're standing nice and tall. We'll place our feet a little wider than hip distance apart. We've welcomed in that energy and light from our sun salutation, and we'll tilt to the right, letting our left side be long. And then we'll go over to the left. Welcoming in this time to practice, knowing that it's okay to come late to it. Come back to center. We'll work our balance a little. Maybe you're close to the wall still. Maybe you decide to head over to it for some support. Make it yours. We'll work a little on airplane pose. So with our sun salutation, we wanted room to step back. With our airplane pose, we want room to step forward. So find it for yourself here. When we balance, I think it's helpful to save the dominant leg for last. So if you're right-handed, maybe you're stepping out on that left foot first. You get to decide. You get to challenge it, to change it up if you need to. We're going to open our arms into a T. Our palms are forward. We're going to step out on the foot we want to balance on. And we're going to lift our back heel and shift our weight forward. This could be our edge. We might stay right here. Or we might begin to tip over. We're going to tighten our belly and tip at our hips so that we're bringing our gaze, our chest towards the floor, our palms facing towards the floor. And that back leg, we're going to try to keep in line with the opposite hip, not letting it lift up and tilt us here. When we're ready, we'll release, coming up tall. Maybe taking a little step back so we have room to step forward. Good. We're stepping out on the other foot this time. You picked it for yourself, so find it here. We're going to take that step forward, lift the back heel, and open our arms into a T. Our belly pulling in tight. Staying right here, or maybe tipping forward. Remembering that it's okay if we're wiggly or if we restart. We'll take another breath and then we'll carefully release, coming up tall. We've worked that balance, we've made it back up tall, and now we're going to carefully take a seat. We'll try it out, engaging our balance again, but if it's not for you, just carefully sit down on your own. If you're trying out a little balance work, I would take a step forward. You want room behind you so that eventually you can sit all the way down. We're going to bring our feet close together and move into a closed leg squat before we land softly on the mat or floor. Let's pick up one heel. It doesn't matter which. Now you're on the tippy toes on one side. Now let's do the other. Switch it up a little here. If you went ahead and had a seat, that's awesome. Send those legs out long and point and flex your feet. We're going to leave our heels down now. We're going to squeeze our belly tight, our knees tight together. We're going to press our hips back and bend those knees. We're going to reach our hands forward, our fingers point down, and we're going to look towards the ground as we start to lower. Maybe a little more. Maybe a little more. Now here, let's try peeling up our heels. We're on our tippy toes. Let's come a little lower. A little lower. A little lower. Let's come all the way down so that our bottom connects by the back of our heels. Our fingers can touch the ground. If it's too much on the knees, have a seat here. Let those legs be long. Whether we're in our little closed leg squat or our legs are long in front of us, we're going to fold forward a bit. So in our closed leg squat, we're going to tuck our chin towards our chest. And what we want to do is let our low back lengthen and relax. If you like, turn your head gently side to side. Then let the head be still. If you're in that closed leg squat, we're going to carefully come down, legs out long. Our back is up tall now. So if we were in a forward fold with the legs long, we've rolled up. And we're going to point and flex our feet again. Then we'll let our feet be still. Let's welcome in a little length, placing the left hand down. Take the right arm up and over. Come to center, and let's go the other way. Right hand down, left arm up and over. Let's come back to center. And now we'll make our way down onto our backs, where we'll get in some more stretches and then prepare for relaxation. So you want to make sure you have room on the mat or the floor behind you. We're going to slowly lower down. I'll turn to the side in case you need to see any of the stretches or poses we take here. We're sitting up tall, our arms will reach forward. We're going to tuck the chin to the chest, pull the belly in. Squeezing the belly and bottom tight, we're going to slowly roll ourselves down. our way down, and there's no hurry here, we'll let our arms rest at our sides. We'll wiggle so that we get comfortable, whatever we need to do. And as we settle in, let's gently turn our head side to side again. Here we might find that the low back arches just slightly. And as long as that's not painful, it's okay in this restful position. Let the head come to center and to stillness. And let's hug the knees in towards the chest in cannonball. Feel the low back press down. And gently rock a little side to side. We want this to feel soothing on our low back. And we don't want any tension along our neck and shoulders. We might find we can release it with the breath out. So as you rock, feel a slow breath in and a slow breath out. Then make your way to stillness. Feel your gentle breath rhythm. We're going to extend our legs up, reaching our toes towards the ceiling. If our back is sensitive, we might take our hands and slide them under our bottom, palm side down. If the back of the legs feel really tight, don't be afraid to keep a bend in your knees. Whether it's a little bend or a really big bend, find what's right for you. We're going to circle our ankles here. Now we'll go the other way. Then we're going to let our feet be still. And we're going to bend our right leg so that the sole of the foot comes down to the mat or the floor. We're going to focus on that left leg a little. With our knee fairly straight, let's bring our hands behind the leg and guide it towards us. We want to get a deep stretch for the back of the thigh. As we're holding here, let's circle that left ankle a little. Circle the other way. Let the foot be still, but we're going to ease off of our stretch. So that leg that we're hugging towards us, we're going to ease off a bit. Our left toes pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to squeeze our belly in, and we're going to circle from our hip. Remembering the hands can support our bottom if we like. We'll send that left leg around. The size of the circle is up to us. If we experience tightness in our back that we think might be sciatic pain, releasing at the hip can help. Let's send these circles the other way. And we want to remember that once we've changed direction, we might need a smaller size circle, or we might find we make a bigger one. That's all right. You make it yours. One more circle around. We're going to hold our left leg up. We're going to bring our right leg up to join it. Remembering our knees don't have to straighten all the way. We'll point and flex our feet. We'll let our feet be still. And now it's that left knee that will bend so the sole of the foot comes down. We're just changing what leg we focus on here. We're going to bring our hands behind and guide the leg towards us. It's okay if this side feels different than the other. Let's circle the right ankle a little. Let's send our circles the other way. We'll let our foot be still. We'll carefully ease off of our stretch so our toes are pointing up, our belly is pulling in tight, and we're going to move from that right hip, making some circles again. We decide what size we make with this leg in this direction. Let's send our circles the other way. Take another circle around. Let's hold that leg up. Let's take our left up to meet it. We're squeezing our belly in tight. We're going to open up along the hips and the inner thigh, coming in to recline straddle pose. So we're going to let our legs drop out into a V here. Our hands can be under our bottom for support. They can hold our legs for support. If it's feeling intense, we can have a little bend or even a big bend in our knees. Holding our reclined straddle pose, we'll remember to breathe and we'll point and flex our feet. We'll let our feet be still and we're going to draw our legs together. We'll hug the knees in towards the chest, returning to cannonball. We'll gently rock side to side. Remember, we're letting it feel relaxing to our low back. Now, the first time we rocked, we kept tension out of the neck and the shoulder area. But here, if you like, you can pull the belly in even tighter and raise the head, neck, and shoulders. And while we don't want it to be painful, we might feel a little tightening along the jawline and the front of the neck as we squeeze in. We'll come to stillness if we're rocking. We'll lower the head down. Now we're releasing that tension and we'll do it with a breath. So feel a slow breath in, a slow breath out. Letting ourselves breathe, we'll take it into a gentle twist. So we'll leave our face towards the ceiling. We'll let our legs fall to one side and both arms to the other. It doesn't matter what way you go first. Take a slow breath in and a slow breath out. Come back to center, that cannonball position. Take your twist to the other side. A slow breath in, a slow breath out. Come back to center. Carefully connect the soles of the feet to the mat or floor. From here, we'll ready ourselves for relaxation. So if there's anything you wanted to gather, maybe a blanket so that you're comfortable, maybe a nice pillow. If there's any final pose or movement you want to do, feel free to find it here, making this practice right for you. When you're ready, settle in. You're finding a comfortable position. Often we lie on our backs, face up, but feel what works for you today. Allow your eyes to close or to be softly gazing. Allow your breathing to slow down. And there is no right or wrong. All we have to do is breathe. Welcoming in relaxation, can come easy to us sometimes. But sometimes it can be the hardest part of our practice. So if our mind is wandering, if we're having trouble settling in, let's begin to quiet the mind by seeing ourselves resting out in a beautiful meadow. Green grass surrounds us. Gentle flowers bloom. We might imagine blue sky above us. We might even feel the sun's warmth or a gentle breeze. We'll let ourselves feel relaxed and at peace. Connected to the earth. We'll let ourselves renew. We'll take another breath, seeing ourselves in this meadow, and then we'll let the image fade from our awareness. And we'll wiggle fingers and toes. We'll let our fingers and toes come to stillness. When we're ready, we'll roll on to our side. Maybe we're bending our knees and curling them in towards our chest a little so that our back rounds and lengthens. Maybe we're using the hand or arm like a pillow under our head. And then we'll press ourselves up, returning to a comfortable seated position. We'll open our eyes or blink out of our softened gaze. And we'll take another breath together. Inhale, raise the hands and arms, palms together in prayer. Exhale to heart center. Namaste.